Oh, we are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! Guys, subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! The Cowboys win it! Woo! Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Saturday trial games review. We saw 3 games of the trial game today. We saw the Warriors defeat the Melbourne Storm down there at Casey Fields in Melbourne, 30 points to 18. We saw the Cowboys defeat the Rabbitohs, 24 points to 12. And we saw the Titans and Broncos have a 26-all draw. The Titans led 26 points to 8. But tonight I am joined by CJ Moxley. CJ, mate, how are you going, bro? It's good to have you on the channel once again.
Yeah, of course. Good to be on the channel on a more regular basis. Obviously, really good. I'm good, besides your boys beating our boys. We'll get into that. So let's rip in.
Well, it was very entertaining. I think there was a lot of games today that were quite entertaining. Obviously, Friday night's trials games weren't the best. They were all blowouts. And today we had a bit of variety today. Every game that was played was 1-12. There was no 13-plus bloodbath. The Warriors winning after being down 12-0 was good. Cowboys over South, which wasn't a bad game of footy. And Titans and Broncos game was dead boring until the last 10 minutes where the Broncos ended up scoring a couple of tries and ended up getting the job done. But I want to welcome in the live chat. Hello to Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. Hello to Damien from Newcastle. It's Bosky. We've got Faraz in the chat as well. We've got Daniel Sexton. I'm going well, mate. I hope you're doing well as well, my friend. Lucas in the chat as well. We got everyone rolling in now. We've got about 13 people watching the stream. Make sure you guys go ahead and like the live stream and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And go and check out CJ Moxley's YouTube channel as well. I'll leave a link in the description below once the review is over. But, mate, let's go to the first one. The Warriors over the Storm down there in Melbourne at Casey Fields. 30 points to 18. Xavier Coates had a good showing, scoring a couple of tries early on. And then the Warriors came back and ended up getting the job done, mate. What did you think about the Warriors-Storm game?
It was an all right game. Obviously, the first try in the 3rd minute. Xavier Coates' first touch in Melbourne Storm colours. Too strong for that Warriors defence. Obviously scored. Brandon Smith after. Marcelo Montoya with the double. I think it was a solid game. I think the Warriors did very well to win that game. And I think they really deserved it. Melbourne just put the pedal off the throat in the second half. And, yeah, I think it was a good game.
Yeah, look, it's only a trial game. You can't take too much from it. Melbourne had Munster playing with Brandon Smith as well for a while there, and they were looking pretty good out there. Munster looked really good out there in the first half, and Brandon Smith scored a nice try there. I thought it was a reasonable game. I thought the other 2 games were probably a bit more entertaining. Melbourne did rest pretty much their whole team. I did play a few players, but not many. I got to say, George Jennings hasn't changed, has he, defensively? It's still the same problem in defense with George Jennings. But, mate, enough about Melbourne. They weren't really good today. The Warriors. What'd you make of the Warriors? Down 12-0 and they fought their way back and they ended up getting the win. But what'd you think about the Warriors?
Courageous would be a word I could use. I know it's only a trial, but I think they were very courageous in that game. That left edge pairing was very lethal. Montoya, yep. I think Matthew Lodge was also pretty solid when he came on.
Off the bench, yes.
Yeah, scored the last try, I believe. Reece Walsh, he was all right when he was on. I think Elise Katoa was actually pretty good. I think.
Yeah, big fan.
Not much talk about him. And yeah, I think the Warriors deserve that win, and those players stood out for me.
What do you think of Ash Taylor? What do you think of his performance?
Oh, Ash Fowler. I don't think he really did anything. He's a halfback. He should be managing that side. There was no management at all around anything. But halves, I didn't like the halves tonight. Ash Taylor, no involvement at all.
Nah, well, see, when the Warriors were down 12-0, the Warriors scored 3 tries in a row. Taylor had no involvement at all, and he was the halfback today. When you're the halfback of a team, you've got to be involved in everything. You've got to be in there. You've got to be touching the ball all the time. You've got to be directing the team around, and he wasn't doing that. And I know he only played one half, but I don't know why the Warriors want to put. I don't know why I bought him for. I mean, he's not going to do anything for him. Ash Taylor did nothing as usual, and then you got guys like Jacko here who want to carry on like a fucking idiot. So he can go stick fucking toilet water down his throat, the dead shit. But you know, there wasn't much really to say about this game. Melbourne were just, you know,
Average.
they didn't play really anyone, and the Warriors ended up coming back and getting the job done. So fair play to the Warriors. But was there anyone for the Warriors that really stood out for you that you thought was really good today?
Yeah, obviously Marcelo Montoya, I reckon, the double he got, ran for 93 meters. I think he was pretty good. I think at least Guitar, obviously he played some minutes. Good offload game on him. Ran for 70 meters as well. I think he was very solid. He's also bulked up a bit, if I've noticed.
He's good. He's a good player, man. I thought Rocco Berry had a good showing. I thought he looked pretty good out there. I like Rocco Berry, man. I think he's a really good player coming through.
I think Berry and Montoya will be that left edge pairing for round one by the looks of things.
It seems like it. What about Ewan Aiken? Where would you play Ewan Aiken for the Warriors? I thought he needs to be in the centers, but like, what are they going to do?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a headache now. Obviously, he can play in the second row. If I was Nathan Brown, in round one, I'd probably go for Aiken at second row, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the Warriors, get the job done over the Melbourne Storm in the trial game there, 30 points to 18. Who was your man of the match from the Warriors Storm game, CJ? Who was your best?
Marcelo Montoya, very lethal on that left side.
Yeah, I'd probably go Montoya or Rocco Berry. I thought they were both very good as well. I'll probably go with those two. Probably Montoya as well. 2 nice tries there. So the Warriors beat the Melbourne Storm 30 points to 18. Now let's go into the second game, which was the Cowboys, my team, up against your team, CJ, the Bunnies, up there in, where was it? Darwin, was it? Is that where the game was?
Barlow Park in Cairns.
Up in Cairns. First of all, obviously you're a Rabbitohs fan through and through, and wasn't the result that Souths wanted. But again, a neutral game, just getting the cobwebs out there. What did you think about the Cowboys-Rabbitohs game?
Although it was a trial, I was pretty disappointed with our discipline in the first half. It was we rushed our sets too much, and we just took the game too seriously. Our discipline, I think, is what let us down, and I think we dropped the ball a bit too often, and we're leaking penalties a lot, and just wasn't our night. Yeah,
I thought South's discipline was very poor. I did a live reaction to it on the channel, and I thought Souths were quite poor. I thought they were very ordinary. I don't mind that Dean Hawkins bloke, though. I thought he looked pretty all right when he was on the field. He looked all right at halfback. He wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah, he has a good kick on him.
He looked all right as well. I didn't mind him as well. And Souths kept going to that left-hand side, but they kept dropping the ball. They kept blowing their chances on that left side. And they must have thought Alex Johnson was there or something because they kept going there and just wasn't working. But poor from Souths. As for the Cowboys, though, I thought Jaden Hodges, he was outstanding off the bench. I thought he played really well at Dummy Hull coming off the bench. I thought Josh Chudley looked all right. Ben Condon looked good. Griffin Neem looked good. That young halfback, Jacob Burke or something, Burke, I think his name was, 5'8", he looked good. Dejan Assi was good as well. He's a good goal kicker too, that Assi. And those 2 young Fijians on the wing were good. And also that young fullback. Didn't mind them as well. What about you, mate? What do you think about some of the Cowboys players?
Obviously, the Fijian wingers are phenomenal tonight. Riley Price had a solid game, ran for 101
Riley Price.
meters.
He was phenomenal. He was very good.
Defense. Jaden Hodges, he was outstanding tonight, man. Obviously, got a couple of assists in there. Dejan Assi also had a great game. I really liked him tonight. The Cowboys definitely have a better side tonight. No excuses from us. The Cowboys were too good. I reckon the Cowboys, their attack definitely, specifically in that second half, showed out. Jaden Hodges, I reckon he was my man of the match personally. Jaden Hodges.
Same. Now, if you guys go back and watch the preview for the game where I was on Sam Revels' YouTube channel, me and CJ we were on Sam Revels' YouTube channel for the Cowboys Rabbitohs game, the preview, and I said what I want the Cowboys to do this week in the trials is just have a good defense, defend really well, improve on that, and that's exactly what we did. We only conceded 12 points in a trial game. We played a bunch of young kids. Some of them I never heard of before in my entire life, and the Cowboys did exactly what I wanted them to do, defend really well, and that's what they did. They conceded 12 points, which is good. So I was very happy with that.
Another player I was impressed with was Jordan Lip from North Queensland as well, I think.
Yeah, the right centre, Jordan Lip, he scored a nice try too.
That try put on us.
Jaden Hodges' kick. But the Cowboys, they were fairly good tonight. I thought they had a really good trial, a good hit out for the Cowboys. My man to match in that game is probably like someone like Jaden Hodges or Riley Price for me, and Dajon Assey. They're probably the top three for me. What about you?
Hard to disagree with you there. I'm going to go with Jaden Hodges as well. Really solid showing from him, especially with the unfortunate run of that's another player. Jaden Hodges for me, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys beat the Rabbitohs. The Cowboys will play that last trial game against the Broncos next week, and expect both teams to be all playing at full strength next week. Who does South play in the trial game next week, CJ?
Charity Shield, mate. St. George.
The Charity Shield against the Dragons. It's not even a trial game. It's a big game. The Charity Shield goes. The Charity Shield's been happening since 1982. So
yeah, Latrell will be playing next week, so I'm kind of keen to see that.
Latrell will be there. For everyone who says, the Charity Shield's only a trial game, it's more than a trial game. The Charity Shield has been going since 1982. It's a very, very big game. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be a good game next week. All right. Now let's get into the other game that just ended. The Broncos and the Titans. Well, the Titans were in complete control. I was going to come on in and give them a big praise. They led 26 points to 8 and it ended up being a 26-all draw. First thing I want to say to you, CJ, is what happened to the fucking Titans in this last 10 minutes? I know it's only a trial game, but surely you got to think it's concerning signs for the Titans, considering it was an 18-point lead with about 10 to go.
The Titans they choke again. So their concern for me was I think they just thought the game was over and they left it bare. The Titans they shouldn't even conceded that much tries in the last 10 minutes. The Broncos just came fully fit and firing, and the Titans just had no answers. Shocking from the Titans. It concerns me considering they did have Campbell and Sexton and such. Very concerning from the Titans there, even though it's a trial.
Yeah, look, I thought they really struggled, the Titans, and they had a lot of fresh players off the bench in the second half as well. So there was no excuse for them to concede that many points. And last year, the Titans' defense was that bad, and again, they conceded 26 points again, which is another concern for the Titans. It was a crazy old trial game, entertaining. They choked the lead. It's only a trial game. It was, to be honest with you, I thought the game was very slow and boring. It went for a long time, it felt like, and then the last 10 minutes, the game sort of got exciting again when the Broncos started throwing the footy around, ended up scoring a couple late tries, and J-Mane Saka kicked the conversion to make it a draw in the end. The Broncos halves, Tyson Gamble tonight in the halves was dreadful. What do you think about Tyson Gamble tonight?
Tyson Gamble didn't really do nothing. I think him and Albert Kelly, they just didn't really do.
They weren't good, eh?
Tyson Gamble, he just kept putting in the kicks that were unnecessary. Yeah, it just wasn't on his game tonight. Probably the worst game I've seen for Tyson Gamble.
Oh, mate, it's going to be interesting to see who the Broncos go with at 5'8" now, because in my Broncos best one of 17, I had Albert Kelly at my 5'8". It was dreadful. Gamble was dreadful. Ezra Mann's the future. Is he ready? Tamari Martin's not fit at the moment, apparently. So there's going to be a massive headache for Kevin Walters, and I think we'll get a really good indication next week on who is going to be in the house, because every team next week will play all their big gun players. They will play decent minutes. So but it'll be very interesting to see who the Broncos name when they try against the Cowboys next week. But you got to think going into it, the Broncos have got a few headaches because the hooker, Jake Turpin, in my opinion, completely clueless. He's not a hooker, man. He's a hooker, but he's not a good hooker, man. He's clueless.
He did not scare the defensive line at all tonight. Not at all.
He doesn't do anything. And like I've been saying it all off season, Broncos need a better hooker than Jake Turpin. And look what happened. Maybe Billy Walters will go to number 9 and or Corey Pakes. And maybe they'll go Ezra Mann at 5'8". I want to see Ezra Mann at 6. Sorry.
That's what I'm reckoning. That's what I reckon. That's fine.
Pakes at 9 with maybe Walters off the bench and maybe Ezra Mann at 5'8". I'm not sure. There's a lot of headaches there for the Broncos. But what would you do, CJ? Who would you have as the Broncos 5'8" for this year and the hooker in the 14? Who would you go with?
Okay, so my 5'8" will be Ezra Mam. Actually, I think they're going to develop fresh blood, and I think Adam Reynolds is the exact right mentor for that to happen. My number 9 would be Corey Pakes. I think he was pretty solid tonight, made an impact when he came on. And my utility is Billy Walters. He can play in the halves and hooker, so I think if one of those players get tired, he can come in and do a job.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I like that, man. I think that would work well for the Broncos. I want to talk about Corey Jensen, man. Now, Corey Jensen used to play for the Cowboys. He ended up leaving because he wasn't wanted. Fuck me. The first 2 trial games he played, because he played in the one against Wynnum last week and the one tonight, man, he's really trying to put his case forward to be in the Broncos 17, isn't he? He played well tonight.
He made a couple runs, good tackle breaks. Corey Jensen really stamping his authority in that Broncos lineup to prove that he wants to be in that 17. I don't think he'll start, no way, but I think
no way he'll start
by the form he's in right now, he'll be coming off that bench.
Yeah, man. If you guys watched the Always Brisbane Broncos live stream, he was saying that Ryan James might not get a run straight away because he doesn't think he can come straight into the side. So I think that's a fair call. I think you've got to earn your way in as well. You've got to earn your way in. You can't just get thrown in there just because your name's Ryan James. You've got to earn your spot. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Broncos go about things. But as for the Titans, mate, Toby Sexton, what do you think about him at halfback for the Gold Coast?
He had a solid first 40, I reckon. Kind of dropped off in the second, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Toby Sexton, he was all right, but honestly, I don't think he's a full 80-minute player just yet.
Yeah, look, I thought he was all right, Toby Sexton. I thought he had some good touches in the first half. But the problem is, I don't know if he's ready to be a consistent 25 NRL round season halfback. He's got a lot to work on. He's a good kid. I think he's a very talented player, and I can see a big future out of him. But I just don't know if he's ready yet for week in, week out NRL football. He needs an experienced halfback with him, or 5'8" with him. And someone like AJ Brimson, Tanner Boyd, Paul Turner, even Tanner Boyd, none of them are going to be any good for Toby Sexton right now. Maybe in 2 years' time, yes, but the Titans need an experienced half to help Toby Sexton develop. I really believe that. So, an experienced half on the market, I'd be looking at him, man. And I think Sexton needs a bit more time to work on his game because I've said this a few times already. The Titans are putting a lot of faith in a kid who played less than 10 games last year at halfback. And they got rid of the man they had for the last 2 years. So a lot of pressure on Toby Sexton this year. But do you think the Titans can do anything this year with Sexton in the halves, or do you think it's more of a rebuilding year for the Gold Coast?
I think it's a rebuilding year for the Titans. Like you said, putting a trust in a kid who hasn't even played 10 games in the NRL.
It's a risk.
It's going to be a tough room. It's risky, yeah. And not having that leadership in the halves. You got Brimson, but he hasn't really played very in a while, so there's no Fogarty there. I think the Titans, I don't want to give any away predictions yet, but I don't see him being a top 8 side. I think they can cause an upset or two, but I can't see him going back good this year.
I think the Titans will be okay at home. They'll probably win a few games at home, but I just worry about them this year. I'm with you. I can't see them making the top 8 this year. I just can't. I don't think they have enough depth to make the 8 anyway. But the Broncos, they come back. They make it a 26-all draw. It feels like a Broncos win because of the comeback, but obviously ends up being a 26-all draw. Quickly, mate, your man of the match for the Broncos and Titans game.
Oh,
tough one,
for
isn't
the Broncos. He didn't really play much, but I think Staggs had a pretty good game, solid game. I think Zarko, but he was in and out of it at the same time.
He's in and out, yeah.
That's tough because
I'll probably go with fucking Corey Jensen, to be honest.
Corey Jensen.
I thought he was great off the bench. Good impact, Corey Jensen. I thought he was good. Kurt Capel played pretty well too, I must say.
Yeah, Kurt Capewell, actually. He had a really good game. For me, probably have to be either Billy Walters or
Billy
Corey
Walters is another one who you could throw in as for man of the match as well.
I think Kobe Hetherington had a pretty solid game.
Hetherington was solid, yes, no doubt about it. But my man of the match, I'm going to go Corey Jensen, man. I was just so impressed with what he did off the bench. Thought he had a really good impact. I thought he played really, really well. All right, well, that might wrap up the Saturday trial game review. We just reviewed all 3 games. The Warriors beat the Storm 30 points to 18. The Cowboys beat the Rabbitohs 24 points to 12. And the Broncos and Titans have a 26-all draw. CJ, mate, I want to thank you for coming on the YouTube channel for the Saturday trial game review, mate.
Always good to come on and have a yarn.
No worries, bro. Well, thanks for coming on. And everyone, go and check out CJ Moxley's YouTube channel. I will leave a link in the description below for his YouTube channel. But, guys, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go watch the St. Helens Hull FC game, which is in about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to try and find a way to watch that on stream because it's not on Fox or KO. But, guys, we're getting out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow for another live stream for the NRL Trolls. I'll probably do the Cronulla Penrith game tomorrow. Probably live stream that game. Anyway, guys, until then, like and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Oh, yeah, and up the Cowboys.